Evening all, welcome back to Eve Online. It's been a week. It's been a hell of a week, in fact. Let me go through how much of a cock knocker this week has been. I have been through 6 different countries. This is for work, by the way. I'm not some international drug cartel smuggling, God knows what in my rectum. This is work. Work's crazy at the moment, so it's been a while before. Well, it's been a while since I last did a video, so apologies for that. So, updates. You'll notice, and you'll see as I open the screen in just a moment, that I'm now back on my main character, CEO Pyrex. This is a rejoiceful day. The Leviathan is safe. It's safe. But it's on another character now, so it's basically been shifted over to someone else. The reason I've done this is because this character, CEO Pyrex, is my original. It's my main. It's the one with all the skill points and stuff. That's why I'm scanning anomalies in HiSec and Aguila. That's right. I just know no limits when it comes to what I do. Bit of a boring one, this one. This is just literally, I guess, a quick update on where we are and what's going on. So I think in terms of the biggest update, I've got obviously CEO Pyrex back. So, you can mail this guy in game if you want anything from me. If you want to send me insults, please do so. It is CEO Space Pyrex. And it is nice to have him back. It's funny how if you don't have your main character, you always have one that kind of is your main character. And I think that's the nicest thing about it, is this feeling of I've actually got my original character back. And my goodness, this guy had a lot of assets hidden in Empire with billions. It's really quite nice to find. So I found this Gila. It was just sat there. So I thought, why not? Let's have a bit of fun with it. Announcement number 2 is we've dropped a station. SquadB finally has a station that I'm quite proud of. It's just a moon miner. It's in Japaya, which is our system that the Unholy Legion and everyone else is kind of grouped in. You're more than welcome to base from there. You're more than welcome to blow it up, because you'll probably save me from mining Omba, in which case in the long term I'll be very grateful for you. But I just thought, why not? I like the whole concept of stations. I think they're absolutely brilliant, and to me they are really, I think they're game defining, because the fact of the matter is that for a very small amount of money you can get a pretty good station and you can drop it and have fun with it. Anyway, so that's kind of something to bear in mind. It's going to do moon evacuations, or moon enemas, as I like to call it. We're going to do them once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, because already I'm probably going to get bored of mining. But I found a pretty good moon. I don't know if it's good or not. I probably should have gone for one with good Tech 2 minerals. I think I've got one which gives really crap ones, so I'm not too bothered about that. The only reason I went for it is because it gives me Arcanor and Bistot, which I thought was good, because last time I remember mining in deep space, that's what I remember mining. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So at least I can then just put some stuff in the belt. But mining is just not my thing. I find it quite boring. I don't know. I think it's because I've seen mining done better in other games like Space Engineers and so on, and I've spoken about that before. But mining in this game is not that interesting. But I'm going to caveat that it's pretty good to do if you need the ISK. I think actually this moon mining thing in 0.5 is actually quite cool. So that's kind of why I dropped one. I thought, why not? It's a billion ISK. That's chump change. I literally sold, like, I mean, again, I don't know why I stockpiled certain assets, but I remember having things like planetary cars, and I bought thousands or millions of them, in fact, just because it made me laugh at the time. I used to buy stuff in Jita just because I had to get rid of the ISK, which, again, sounds like a kind of tax dodge. It's probably more to do with the fact that actually I didn't want to leave lots of ISK on any account, so I thought, let's start churning it into buying stuff, which has turned out rather nicely with some cases, because some things were worth bugger all 8 years ago. And today they're worth a lot more. So when I started playing Eve again, the first thing I noticed was I've got no ISK, and it was quite annoying. I think I even jokingly, and I point out the word jokingly, begged on Twitter for ISK. And thank you everybody who sent me ISK, which was no one. It's probably for a good thing, because really it was quite cheeky to do that, because I've got loads of ISK. Because all I do is I'd look at a hangar, for example, right? And I'd see stuff in there that I would just think, well, that's obviously rubbish, right? Because you just assume it's rubbish. And then you go to your character bit and it would say you have 200 billion ISK of assets on you. And I'm like, what? How the hell? Where's that coming from? So I'd open my asset browser and I'd look down and look around, and I'm like, I don't see anything worth anything like that. So I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what it was. And it was all of the planetary interaction stuff that I think you used to just buy from the market that now you make through PI. So I used to buy it from the market for 1,000 units each, and now it's on the market for 100,000 units or ISK per each. Robotics, construction blocks, things like this. I used to buy them from the market just because why the hell not? I used to have my 9 or whatever it was freighters flying around Empire space, and I've got to say, back then you could do that. Nowadays I'm scared taking a freighter out of G to undock, to be honest. It's terrifying. So I'm quite content just to use transport ships now. But it concerned me greatly that basically you can't use freighters anymore. But anyway, that's another story, another time. So what was interesting was having so many things that just were valueless now become very valuable is interesting to me. And I think that to me is fascinating, because so much of the game was just issued onto the market back then. I mean, you could literally go and buy orders for minerals back then that were put there by the CCP. I don't know if that's still the case. Post in the comments, is that still the case? Because it used to be that no one ever mined enough, I don't know, titanium, for example. I don't know if it was titanium, but people didn't mine enough of certain things. That would mean CCP would come along and just seed the market. So they'd actually seed buy orders, or sell orders rather. And I thought that was pretty cool. But again, it broke the game, because if you knew what they were doing and when and how, it kind of made the game a little bit broken. So that to me has been an interesting one. Getting my main character back also just makes me reminisce of the old days, because in my address book I've got everybody that I used to know, and it's so funny how I never see them log on, and that makes me a bit sad. I saw 1 or 2 people that I used to know from Goonswarm log on, and that was nice, had a good chat. I've seen a good few people from the old ASCN as well log on as well, but again, not many. And I think, this is, it's kind of the shame of the game really, is that it's gone on for so long that a lot of the people that you knew do not play anymore. So, if you're an old EVE player and you used to play the game and you're watching the videos but you don't play, then, log on once in a while. It can't hurt. It's alpha. You get to play it for free now. So just log on and have a look around, because I tell you what, it's been an absolute joy to do this again. And so much so that I've now just subbed my 9th account. So that shows you that I've obviously got the bug, which is nice. I must admit, the parts of the game that are interesting to me at the moment is still very much in Empire. I am interested in wormhole space, so I'm going to look at that at some point. Got some relatively interesting kind of leads coming in there, but I'm not that interested in nullsec. I think it's just because I've done it all my game. I've done that, but we'll see. The other one that's interesting me is factional warfare and low security space, because those are 2 things I never touched while I was in the game. Part of me, I think, is doing this because maybe I have this weird feeling that maybe the end is coming soon. I don't know. I don't think it is. But part of me just feels that it would be annoying if the game suddenly was announced to be ending and I hadn't done everything in the game, because this game's been part of my life. I mean, this game I would attribute to me having a pretty successful career. And you're thinking, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain. I used to, when I first started my career, right, it was just as this game was coming out, right? So I was basically fresh out of university in the wonders of the noughties, and I was basically looking for a job. And I got my first job in a kind of crappy construction company. But long story short, the manufacturing behind EVE and the desire to optimize it meant that I learned Excel. And back then, Excel was pretty much the tool you used to do everything. And through that knowledge of Excel, which got deeper and deeper and deeper every time I played, and every time I thought to myself, God, it'd be good if I could figure out a pivot table to then give me some kind of projection of this and that. And it'd be good if I could track trends of certain things in Jita, blah, 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 or ULI back then. I realized that by becoming proficient in Excel, all of a sudden I became very proficient in Excel at work. And long story short, eventually I became so capable with it that I started inventing what I would like to call products. That I then was like, and I went to the managing director of our business and I said, hey, look at this. And I sat him down and I showed him my Excel workbook. And I said, if you punch in like 20 different bits of information here, and we then link it to the CPI index, and we link it to that, look at that. We've got a book that will then project how much our project should cost. Bing, promotion, off I go. And that was it. And I know that sounds incredibly arrogant, but that's the truth of this game, is that it gives you the ability to I guess, learn something that will then benefit you in your life. The amount of people who've learned public speaking. I mean, I remember the first time I had to speak on TeamSpeak, it felt weird. I didn't want to do it. I was like, and now look at me, I can't shut up. And this is one of the beauties of this game, is that when you look at what the benefits this game brings you, there's a lot of social augmentation that comes of skills with this game. And I think, just communication is just one of them. I think, the ability to organize and plan and prepare has been very useful. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.